time to finally write our first Cypress test. The first thing we're going to do is let Cypress write a sample test for us so we can learn about the test syntax. Then we will run that test, and then we'll start a test of our own. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is create a little script that will run our Cypress tests. So we're going to do that in the package.json file, so double-click on that. And then here where it says test, right now there's just some placeholder text. So we want to change that, delete all of that, and we will type in npx Cypress open. So this way, whenever we run the command npm run test, it will actually run npx Cypress open. So let's save that, and we'll try it out. npm run test. And we can see it ran the npx Cypress open command, and it opened Cypress up for us. Now remember, we are doing E2E testing, so we click this button, and then we choose the browser we want to use. And now it's opened up the test runner, but it noticed that we don't have any tests currently. So it's actually giving us the opportunity to have Cypress create a sample spec for us. So let's click on that. And we'll look at the path. This path looks good. It's going to go in our E2E folder. So we'll say create spec. And it says, great, the spec was successfully added. Now, before we run the spec, let's take a look at what they did. And we can see in our E2E folder that we created last week, there's a new file called spec.cy.js. Let's open that up and take a look. So here is a sample test for us. Let's take a little tour of the sample test so we see what it's made up of and what it does. So the test will always start with describe. And then it will have the name of the group of tests in the test file. Next thing you'll see here is a set of parentheses and then an arrow. This is called an arrow function. We didn't learn about this when we were learning about Node. All you really need to know is that an arrow function is like shorthand. It's like a faster way for one function to call another. Then right here where it says it passes, this word passes right here is the name of the first test in the group of tests, which are called template spec. And you can see we've got another arrow function right there. And then we can see right here that we've got a Cypress command, which is telling us to go to this URL. And that is all the test does. So now that we know what the test does, let's go back over to Cypress and we will run it. So all we have to do is just click on the spec and it will start up and it will run. So it went to the website that was mentioned, and that's all. We can see the check mark that shows that the test passes, and we can see this is the name of the test right here, passes, and this is the name of the group of tests, template spec. This will all become much more clear when we make our own test. So let's do that now. We're going to go back to Visual Studio. And let's create a new file. So in the E2E folder, we will click on the new file icon, and then we will give this the name add contact.spec.cy.js and click return. Okay, now the easiest way to create a new test is to copy an existing test. So let's go over to the existing test and we will copy it. And we'll paste that in. But let's give it some more interesting names here. So let's call the name of this group of tests, we'll call it add contact tests. And then for our first test, we will put in can add a new contact. And now, instead of having it visit the Cypress kitchen sink app, let's have it actually visit the application we're going to test. So let's put in that URL. thinking-tester-list.herokuapp.com. Okay, and then we'll save. Now, when we go back over to the Cypress project and back to the list of specs, we should see our new spec. There it is, add contact.spec. So let's click it and let's run it. And there it goes. So we've got the name of our group of tests, add contact tests. We've got the name of our test, can add a new contact, and then it visits our contact list app. And we can see that the test passed because we got a check mark here and here. So congratulations, you have just created and run your first test. Next week, we will add some more things to this test. Thanks for watching this video. If you found my training helpful, please like this video and share it with others. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single lesson. If you're enjoying Monday Morning Automation and you'd like to learn even faster, be sure to check out my book, The Complete Software Tester, which is available in Kindle and paperback on Amazon.com.